Okay, perfect. So then let's start. Hi, everyone. My name is Antonio. I'm the talent manager of HiPEAC. Thanks a lot for all of the speakers and the participants for joining us in this session and in this Computing Systems Week that we have prepared this spring for you. As you know, the Computing Systems Week for this year, the format has changed a bit. We decided to go for these sessions every week in the webinar format. And this one, of course, it's the one that is dedicated for students and that will present them opportunities. In this case, regarding the internship opportunities that HiPEAC has and that HiPEAC funds through our jobs portal. Okay, so let's start. Thank you for joining us. So the first question that we can ask is, what is the program? So I'll start by introducing HiPEAC, our services, our events, opportunities for students. Afterwards, we'll get Lahiru from NTNU, Norway, to share his previous experience with HiPEAC internships, how they benefited them, their biggest challenges and goals for the future. And afterwards, of course, we'll have our invited companies to share their opportunities and share their current challenges and why they are using the HiPEAC Internship Program. Afterwards, we'll have a little short session where anyone can post questions. So for the Q&A explanation, it's really simple. You have the chat. You can just post any question that you have, and in the end, we'll try to go through them. So what is HiPEAC? So HiPEAC stands for High Performance Embedded Architecture and Compilation. Is the premier focal point for networking, collaborative activities in Europe for researchers, for industry, and for policymakers. Everything that is related to computing systems in Europe, this network is the place to be, and it's the biggest one in Europe. It has over 2,000 specialists, 700 institutions. So because of this, and because the network was growing so big, that the responsible people decided that, okay, we are growing, and but we need now to prepare the future generations, students, researchers, young researchers, to continue the computing systems network and to continue to provide value in Europe in this field. So that's why HiPEAC Jobs was born. It started as a jobs portal, and now it has grown into a full career center with multiple opportunities for technology sharing, for presentation, paper awards, and even mobility, as we'll talk about right away. So our main three target audiences are HiPEAC members, of course, is the EU Commission, that is the one that funds us, and European job seekers, mainly students, which is our target group. So you can check all our website and our social media as well. So what do we do on HiPEAC Jobs? We provide a lot of services, from jobs walls to student challenges, mobility. We have a specific session in each of HiPEAC's events. We have a section for in the magazine, and all of this and all our services, the end goal of them is to promote the career growth of young people in this field. So what can you gain if you're a student? Well, you can use the HiPEAC Jobs to find the most interesting opportunities. You can get advice and job information from companies and research institutes. You can start your international career with an internship. You can just network and learn from the most renowned computing system experts in Europe. You can find out about the latest research and, of course, publicize your thesis and your papers through HiPEAC. So we organize 4 flagships events every year. The HiPEAC conference, the biggest one. Then 2 computing systems weeks, the spring and the autumn one, which the spring is this one. And the Acasta Summer School, which we can now announce that will happen in September. We're still not sure if we'll have a physical event in Italy or if it's online. So please make sure to stay tuned to our social media in order to find out. Okay, but let's get to the point. So what are HiPEAC internships? The HiPEAC Internship Program is a 3-month program that offers students in master's, PhD levels, unique opportunity to experience and to learn from a real-time opportunity in a company where they will work on their projects and their challenges for up to 3 months. They are funded by HiPEAC, so there is and remote internships for this year are also available. Because of the pandemic, we opened this possibility, so you can apply for any opportunity, and if the company accepts it and with their terms, you can stay at your own place. So it's really easy to participate. You just check the list of open internships, you follow the instructions provided by the companies. Then, of course, please update your HiPEAC profile page and don't forget to include a link to your CV. And then after acceptance, the company will inform HiPEAC and the information will be published in the profile. We've been getting lately a lot of questions about, okay, so there are some requirements that I don't have that the companies are asking for, and I can't on the deadline for the internship will expire next week or so on. But what I have to tell you about this program is that it's really and highly flexible. So what we recommend is that you contact the companies directly if you see an open opportunity, and you just talk to them directly. You can send them your CV, you can arrange the dates with them. Since this is not a really specific job opportunity, you know, most of the companies, and I'm not saying all of them, but some of the companies are highly flexible in terms of getting the students, and with the remote possibility as well for some of them, it makes it easier. So some success stories that Lahiro as well will present later, but all of this information about the internship and the experience that you had will be published in your HiPEAC profile, and you'll have the possibility of featuring in a magazine and in our social media channels as well. Last year, we had 5 successful internships. 3 of them were remote and 2 of them were physical. We got students from all over Europe, so there is absolutely no excuse for you not to apply or not at least try to get these opportunities. And for companies, it's as well really simple. You just have to upload the internship. They will receive applications. They will probably receive questions, and then they just have to notify HiPEAC and get benefits for funding. Small and medium companies get funding, while big industry players get other types of benefits. These are the available internships as well. You can just head to the jobs portal. It's really easy to find them out. Okay, another interesting service that we provide to students as well is the collaboration grants. These are a 3-month collaborative visit as well, but they are destined for research institutions. And the main difference between these and the HiPEAC internships is that it is expected, it is more research focused, and it's expected that in the end of it, you publish an article and you you provide a technological publication afterwards. You can visit any academic or industrial site as long as if the university that you're coming from or heading to is an HiPEAC member. There are for more than 700 institutions, so that shouldn't be a problem. The next collaboration grants will open in autumn 2021, and as well we welcome any institution that wants to apply or students to make sure to apply. And of course, the main service that we have is the HiPEAC Jobs Portal. Right now we have over 180 open positions, and companies just post there every day. We as well recommend you to check it regularly and see if there is any interesting opportunity for you. In terms of skills, our portal has a wide range of skills and covers from C++ to Python to MPI, Git, Linux, an FPGA or GPU or CPU focused. In terms of career levels, there are opportunities for everyone, from professors, researchers to master students, postdocs, and in any technological expertise in the field. So our portal covers a lot of opportunities from a lot of institutions. Big players use our portal regularly, so you can find many opportunities there. If you want to become a member as well, it's really simple. The membership is free, and although it's a bit difficult for young professionals, if you're already an established professional, you can apply for it if your academic index is over 10. So as well, it's really easy, and then you can benefit from all of the HiPEAC opportunities, not only for yourself, but also for your research group or your university as well. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can put them on the chat, and then in the end, I can go through them. And before I give the word to Lahiru, as well, just a QA reminder, you can feel free to put any question, and then in the end, we'll go through them. So thanks a lot, Lahiru. I give the floor to you.
Okay, give me a second. Let me share the screen. Just give me a second to test if it's okay. Yes, I am going to start screen sharing. Is the screen visible? Is it visible, Antonio? Hello?
Yes, I can see half of it.
Oh, okay.
Half in Zoom and half the...
Yeah. Just give me a second. I think let me select the... How's that looking?
Perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. So I am Lahiru. I'm a PhD student at Norwegian University of Science and Technology, and thanks, Antonio, for handing this part. So what I'm trying to share is the student experience of doing these HiPEAC internships. So an outline of what to expect in the slides, why I'm talking about this, but I think that's already clear. I did 2 internships, and Antonio mentioned that. So I'll also explain a little bit about the process of applying to a HiPEAC internship from a student perspective, some things that were not covered in the previous slide, and some things to keep in mind about applying, key lessons from the internships, and the main takeaway for all of you. So yeah, why I'm here. I did 2 internships. One's machine learning inference benchmarking from Dividity. I think now they are a company named Krai. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. And then the second internship was embedded hardware software co-design internship from IO Bundle. So both were remote internships. Yeah. So the process of applying to a HiPEAC internship, you go to hipeac.net/jobs and apply. You can see all the jobs, like normal jobs and internships. So you send a CV, cover letter, and then you go through an interview. And after acceptance, so this is the part where it's different from the normal job application procedure, you have to sign a letter with the university, which means in practice your supervisor, and then the host company, the person in charge, and someone from HiPEAC prior to starting the internship. Then, so this is something that I did. I applied for a leave of absence because I'm employed by the university. So this would depend on the way you have arranged your PhD employment with the university. And then, of course, it's enjoying the experience and learning at the internship. After the internship, you send in a short report, and it's less than 2 pages. So then afterwards, this is a point that might be useful for those who are employed by the university. I have heard that some PhD students are not exactly employed. So that's why I'm putting this point. If you're employed, you have to probably report to the tax office in your country. So that's the procedure. So these are some things that I'd like to point out, to think about when applying. So the first point, applying to internships with compatibility in the research field. So I don't mean that you should definitely apply to something that's spot on your field. No, that's not going to happen. Let some slight deviations be there. It might not exactly be the research field, in the research area that you're in, but those slight deviations provide new perspectives on your research. And that, I think, is something that I definitely experienced from both of these internships. And I think that's useful for everyone, every researcher or even master students, because prior to going into a PhD or going to industry, uh, like seeing the industry perspective and also the research perspective, this is very useful. So for a PhD student whose topic is not defined yet, this is the second point that I'm referring to. It's okay to apply to something where you think you might go. The reason why I feel this, even though I am close to the final stage of my PhD, is that I learned several technical tools and the feel for the industry. So I think that's very useful. Uh, the third point. So if some people have a certain nervousness when applying for a job interview, this can help you very easily kind of ease it and get the experience of going into a job interview and that sort of thing. So the fourth point, motivation to apply. Like this is one thing that came into my mind. Uh, the thing is, when you are, so for my experience as a PhD student, sometimes you could get very siloed into your field. So to network in a very indirect manner, maybe, I think internships are uh, kind of like another route. So after these internships, I felt that it would have been better. This is the last point that I'm referring to. It would have been better if I had done an internship every year. So this would be 4 internships in total for a 4-year duration of the PhD. So yeah, that's that. So the key lessons, this is the cake of this set of slides from my side. So the first point, that there is so much to know out there. So what I mean by this is that when you, at least this is something I felt when I started my internships, is that I thought I knew a little bit so I could contribute, but then I realized there's so much I don't know. And sometimes it can be very, what's it, you might feel a little bit shocked by it because you realize, oh, there's so much I don't know. But that's good. That means you're learning a lot, right? And humility helps to accept that very quickly. And also the thing is that you realize that there is more than one practical way to get things done, right? And that's very useful for research, because sometimes when you're stuck in research, you tend to feel this. This is something I felt, that there should be one correct way to do things, but no, there are different ways. So the second point, as experience is always good. So from my perspective as a PhD student, seeing the internship experience was very refreshing, in the sense that like I understood the perspective of being an intern, and also when I noticed how the people, like the bosses I interacted with, like I noticed their way of thinking, and that kind of, like, not kind of, I should say, it definitely broadened my perspective. Because um, for example, a very simple thing, like a very simple example, is using Slack. uh, so at Divinity, that's the first place where I did the internship. I didn't realize that you could make certain comments, like as in you could send certain, like you could highlight code in a certain format, or highlight text. Like you think of Slack as just this normal text messaging tool, but that is very important. Like, uh, these slight things, like how people use the tools around them to communicate. This kind of relates to the third point as well, but you kind of see this, you kind of see a different experience compared to what you're doing in research. So like it's not exactly technical, but non-technical stuff, that's very valuable. And going to the third point, communication, I think this is a very important skill. And within a PhD, I feel that this communication is not highly necessary, but an internship, you really realize the importance of that. Git and GitHub. So I personally don't come from a very software engineering oriented perspective. I came from electronics engineering. So I didn't see too much use of Git and GitHub. I was more research oriented in the sense that either towards math or the really research topic related stuff. But then the importance and how to quickly get the usage of Git and GitHub into your muscle memory, I think that's something you really learn from an internship. So also going to the fifth point, it's a good time to get to know some other technical tools. So this is so previously I was talking about non-technical tools like Slack, for example, but then you get to know, for example, some command line oriented tools. Which you didn't know before, and it can help you with your productivity. And you seeing how other people use them allows you to sort of quickly grab that and be productive with your work. So going to the sixth point, if you're thinking of creating a small business, so since both the companies that I worked with were not huge companies like Huawei or something like that, but like I directly interacted with the bosses of these companies, it helped me see that that it's not too difficult to start a small business. So I think this is important for the current setting because there's so much opportunity, for example, in AI, and then things like that. Like this internship experience motivated me to the possibility of starting a business in the future if I do want to go in that direction. So number 7. So this kind of relates to the first point. It kind of complements it in the sense that yes, you might not know too much, but that doesn't mean that you do not absolutely know. And there could be an instance where you could contribute with your knowledge. Number 8, you get to feel the difference between industry and academia. And number 9, I think this is one of the points that these, which I strongly feel, you get to reflect more deeper into your research ideas when you look at the internship experience, when you are doing the internship, because it's working in the back of your head, right? So, but the main takeaway is please enjoy and explore the industry through an internship while you are young, you know. So yeah, that's everything from my side. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Lahiro, for your personal experience and your energetic presentation. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Okay, then before, let me just present our speakers as well. So we'd really like to thank all of the speakers. Calliope from Campera Electronic Systems, Anton from Krai, Jenny from MonetDB Solutions, Ali from Nostrum BioDiscovery, and Teresa and Dr. Kai Newman from Silexica. I will give the floor now. Calliope, if you'd like to start as well.
Can you see the screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, let me say that I loved Lahiro's presentation because it was very energetic and full of excitement, and it represents exactly the spirit of a HiPEAC internship. So that's exactly how we have experienced it so far. So my name is Calliope, and I'm the Research and Development Manager of Campera Electronic Systems, and I will present to you the current internship opportunities in Campera Electronic Systems for this summer. Okay, Campera Electronic Systems is an innovative SME. We're a small company. We have 6 members of staff and 3 consultants. The company itself was founded in 2014, so we have 7 years of experience in the market, and the company is focused on 100% on advanced FPGA implementations on their applications. We specialize on the development of FPGA systems and everything that has to do with that. It has a well-established presence in the electronics market for its FPGA experience. And we are lucky to have more than 50 years of cumulative experience in the sector with our employees and our consultants at this point. We're based in the center of Livorno. So you can see from the map where we are. We are in Tuscany, a very beautiful place in Italy, well connected with airports nearby, so it's easy to reach. And we are by the sea, so we have a beautiful summer. And our company has been established so far as a key provider for the embedded systems development and FPGA IP in not only in the national level, but also in a European level as well. A bit more about our company and our activities. We have three main axes of activities and development. The first one is FPGA design services of the high standards thanks to our engineering expertise by using all major vendors and system-on-chip platforms for FPGA development. Then we have as a second axis the FPGA solutions. So we have our proprietary FPGA IP cores, which are all vendor independent, optimized for speed, power, and resource users. So we have our own libraries that are 7 different libraries and more than 115 IPs. And with every project that we do, this number of libraries and IP cores grows. And of course, the third axis is research and innovation. So we're, as an SME, we're pushing the frontiers of technology by participating in international and national research projects. We, at this very moment, we have 2 active research projects and several proposals in preparation. We are members of HiPEAC and IEEE, and we are always looking to expand the collaborations with both academic and research institutes. Our main markets. Our main application markets are mainly radar applications, radar systems control, development and testing systems, security and military like surveillance, monitoring systems and compatible systems with that. Video and image processing, we're experts in image stabilization, video encoding and decoding. We have space applications. We have several projects on GNSS and Galileo positioning systems with GSA. We also have a research project for plasma engine real-time monitoring, and we are also experts on developing space-grade FPGA systems. And as well, we have a lot of activity in biomedical. We also had a project with augmented reality magnification glasses for medical applications, which we are looking to expand more in the future. It was also the subject of 2 of our internships last year with HiPEAC. So our HiPEAC connection. We have so far 3 successful HiPEAC internships. The company has been a member of HiPEAC from 2019, and in a year we already had 3 internships. We didn't have any interns last year due to the COVID pandemic, but we are planning to have this year new internships. You can see a publication of our interns review on HiPEAC Info in issue 59. And for this summer, we have a new internship offered. This time is not for an FPGA developer, but it's for a software developer. So the person we were looking for will be involved and will be responsible in the development of software tools for automatic parsing and code generation based on Verilog and VHDL. The company has reference Flex Bison parsers for Verilog and VHDL that need to be completed and used as basis for automatic code generation. We do not expect someone to start from scratch in 3 months. We will give the basis, we will train the person, and we want to integrate the student in order to be able to complete this project. And the student that will come will be involved in the development chain of the products for which the above tools will be used. So we are offering a 3-month internship for master and PhD students with a suitable background. And it could be engineering, informatics, or science. So we expect to see compatible CVs. I have added also some useful links in the end. You can see in HiPEAC Info 57, the company presentation we made as soon as we became members of HiPEAC. In the Info 59, you will see a presentation of one of our 3 internships in the past. And I've also posted a link of our current internship so that you can see how you can apply. this is more or less, is there a contact information where you can find us by phone, by email, or our webpage, and we're waiting for your applications. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Kalliope, for your presentation. Anton, do you want to take over?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my screen with you. Can you see it? Perfect. So Krai is a new startup founded late last year, but actually this is based on 5-6 years of running another startup called DVDT. So this is where Lahiru did his internship last year. And the focus of the new startup, Krai, is on engineering efficient and reliable systems for AI and machine learning at the edge. And by engineering, what we aim to do is to automate software hardware co-design. So people who work in the HiPEAC area, they know that traditionally hardware and software get designed quite separately. So either software engineers get a task to run some software well on the given hardware, or hardware designers are asked to design something to run the given software well. Well, it's okay when we talk about processors like CPUs and when the efficiency is not a primary concern. But what we under current circumstances, especially for AI, things change very rapidly. So papers get published every day, and the field changes, every 3 to 6 months. The same thing for hardware. So hardware gets released, and it's just impossible to keep pace, especially if you want utmost efficiency provided by co-design. So you look both at the software and hardware, and then you can actually achieve high efficiency than traditional decoupled design. But that used to require more than 5 years, for example, for a big team. So we envisage that for applications such as robotics and AI applications at the edge, you will have to iterate fast. And the only way to do that is through automation. So we are building a product that we call Automated Bespoke Co-Design, or ABCD. And if you look at this diagram, so at the left, we get client requirements coming in. So for example, for machine learning AI, they may have a training data set. So they have a set of images, for example, and they need to design a system that processes them fast and has a particular level of accuracy. So we can take their requirements into our platform, and out of many software hardware components that we have available in the platform, we can start combining them together as just playing with Lego bricks. So you get those software hardware stacks of components, and then you can start optimizing them in a variety of ways. There are lots of techniques available for optimizing systems. So one of them is, for example, neural network architecture search, when you try to find a network that's achieves the required accuracy at the minimum number of, for example, operations or the minimum execution time. But it's a very vast field, so including compilers and so on. So once we get the requirements into our platform, we can typically get a number of designs, and we can present them to our customers. We can say, for example, you are able to achieve this efficiency on an NVIDIA Jetson platform, or you can achieve that on a different platform. And there are different comparisons to be made. Maybe some people would like to go with NVIDIA hardware. Maybe some people would like something more efficient. So in terms of the work that we provide, actually it's work environment. It is very challenging. There are many things involved, as Lahiru said, but we are also very supportive. So if you would like to apply, you can expect that we will use your system's knowledge and skills to the fullest possible extent. We will stretch you in different ways. And you will learn from us, and you will learn also from our customers. I can promise you, you will learn 10 times more than what you think you know. And I have this good track record that this actually can help boost your confidence when you move further and other career opportunities. So I've been hosting HiPEAC interns for almost a dozen years. First at ARM, then at DVDT. And my former interns have joined companies such as DeepMind, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Intel, and others. They have published papers, and we even have one patent granted with a former intern. It's you get just for 3-4 months, you can get a lot of stuff done if you put your mind to it and you get the support. Now I say your work can be tailored to your interests, so I don't have I don't have a predefined internship for you in mind, but watch the space in a minute. So if you are interested in things like algorithm search, optimization, or compilation, we can look at those areas together. We can identify what is of interest to you and what can be useful for us. And these are roughly the areas that we are of interest at the moment. But sort of a more concrete offer here on the table is to participate in the next MLPerf inference round with a deadline of 13th of August. So MLPerf is the industry-leading benchmark for machine learning. It has a consortium of over 50 members. And our claim to fame is that we submitted more results to this benchmark than all other 30 submitters combined, including NVIDIA, Intel, Google, Alibaba, and so on. It's not just us submitting the results. We have also collaborated with ARM, Dell, VMware, Intel. And for the last round, we collaborated with Qualcomm. So we implemented the MLPerf benchmarks for them. We validated, optimized, and obtained power measurements. And we helped them to demonstrate up to 5 times energy efficiency over the entrenched competition, which is NVIDIA. So you can see those results now. It's very proud to have contributed to that. So we are also working with other vendors, and there may actually maybe more companies, more collaborators than we have engineers at the moment. So we are really keen to invite people to join us. So the results we have got, we had great help from Lahiru last year, but also before that from Emanuele Vitali from Polyme. And it was actually the first European university, or even entity, to submit to MLPerf. So they have this experience under their belt, which I think is really cool. So if you would like to work on this submission round, then the ideal timeframe would be from mid-May, because it's only 3 months until mid-August. But actually, if this is too soon for you, or maybe you would like to explore things, just drop me an email, and we can discuss other opportunities later in the year or next year, or where you progress, towards your PhD degree. So I'm very approachable, and so are members of my team. So please drop me a line. So Anton@Krai.AI. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anton. Great opportunity. Really flexible for students, and exciting times at Krai. Jenny, would you like to present?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
And you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny. Please just ignore my Chinese name, not used in real life. So I work for MonetDB Solutions. I'm a co-founder, and actually, I was the first full-time employee in the company when we started in 2013. And the company is a database development and support company located in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. So this picture here, it's a typical, it's a typical view in Amsterdam. So it's quite a lovely, it's a lovely city. So, MonetDB, that's our main product. It is a database. From the outside, it's very similar to MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, in case you have heard about them. From inside, it's quite different. So, well, I can talk hours or even days about the inside and outside of MonetDB, but since Antonio has only gave me 5 minutes, I'm going to extract some interesting bits. Hopefully, I can get your interest. And if you want to know more about MonetDB, you will just have to contact us. But thanks to Lahiro's presentation today, and I hope that he has gotten rid of all your hesitation of should I or should I not apply for the internship, right? So, right, about MonetDB, open source database, that's quite important. And then, well, from outside, it's similar to MariaDB, etc. But from inside, it's very different. What we have done is we have applied all kinds of technologies to optimize it for the so-called analytical queries, analytical workloads, and those technologies are quite related to all kinds of technologies in the HiPEAC, HPC community. And well, that's one of the reasons we often join the HiPEAC conferences. Okay, and one thing is we also do transactions, which is important because not every analytical database does that, right? And so far, we have been concentrated on analyze the data. However, that is changing. So main challenge we are facing nowadays is the so-called HiPEAC challenge. So it stands for hybrid transactional and analytical processing. And what our customer want is we have to preserve the performance for analytical queries, but at the same time, we also need to be able to process heavy transactions. Okay. So here, let me give several real-life examples. So this customer is a vaccination organization. They want to be able to create up to 1 million vaccination appointments per hour. So that is a very decent transactional workload. But at the same time, they also want to be able to run all kinds of analytical queries and have tens of millions of page view per hour. So altogether, this application is a very decent challenge HiPEAC application. And another customer is in the telecommunication. Then you can imagine that they deal with all the usual telecommunication services, hardware, software, etc. Boils down to that they constantly have new data added to the system. And their requirement is that they came to us and told us like, okay, let's start with 5 billion rows of data, but eventually we want to go up to 10 billions of data. That's fine. And then next to that, they want to do free-form queries, which of course must be performant. Right. First idea came into mind is how about distributed processing? So the usual Hadoop stuff, etc. And then we conducted a 3-month evaluation project and evaluated various distributed systems. Conclusion is, well, at least for their case, that's not going to help because they want to do join queries. And if you imagine that you do a join of 5 billion rows times 5 billion rows, you end up in something like 2.56 trillion rows. So that's a lovely challenge to be worked on in the next 3 to 5 years. And the next customer in cytomics, well, when I first got into contact with them, I had to look it up in my dictionary. had no idea what a cytomics actually is. So it turns out that they study the cell biology and the biochemistry in cellular systems. And well, they do all kinds of things with those data. Basically, they look at DNA strings. Okay, they have a very simple requirement. And they want to create a database containing up to 10 million columns. And we are like, oh, hold on, and let's look at this whole thing, because 10 million columns is going to challenge some limit of your hardware. And so far, they have they have been able to test their application on up to 500,000 columns, and we are working together to attack this challenge from both sides. How can we change the application architecture to reduce the number of columns, as well as how we can optimize the database to meet the requirement of the application? Okay, so that was some examples of real-world customer challenges. And this is a team. So nowadays we have about 16 persons in the company, and I think the main strategy for a small company like ours to compete against huge companies such as Microsoft, Oracle, is to be very is to form a very tight team and being very responsive and efficient in working with customers. And of course, we are looking for new colleagues. Next to some full-time job openings, we actually always have internships throughout the year. So it doesn't matter what the current deadline for the internship application is, and it also doesn't matter which items are exactly listed in the internship description. Actually, the up-to-date list of internship topics is in my head. So students are always welcome to just contact us to ask for the current situation of internship. I don't know about my time, if I have it. One thing I would like to mention is that we are not only looking for new employees. What we really look for is, we call it partners in work. We are all partners in this whole team, and proactivity is highly appreciated. Okay, so that's basically it.
Thank you, Jenny. Really great work philosophy at MonetDB. Ali, would you like to take over?
Yeah, sure. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the HiPEAC to give this opportunity to talk for the internship position that we have in the company for the summer time. MBD or Nostrum BioDiscovery is a spin-off company from Barcelona Supercomputing Center, IRB Research Group, and the University of Barcelona, based in Barcelona. We're offering flexible and several service and techniques in molecular modeling and molecular simulation. The company has two co-founders, Professor Modesto Orozco and Victor Guayar. They found this, they created this company in 2015. The best potential that we have are our talent team expertise, with 75% has a PhD with extensive experience in companies in academy. The company basically includes three different divisions. First is drug discovery division, enzyme engineering, and nucleic acid division. We have mostly working with big pharma company, biotech company. We have extensive experience on drug discovery and protein ligand interaction. The technology that we use are different, but the main technology or software that we use called Pele, PyDoc, and we have a new line as well as artificial intelligence. We use third parties technology. We work to collaborate with the companies and use this application for the protein simulation, molecular modeling. Some of them called, for example, Schrödinger, Amber, and GROMACS. The main application of software which developed in Barcelona Supercomputing Group by Victor Goyal called Pele, Protein Energy Landscape Exploration. This is a program based on Monte Carlo algorithm to do protein simulation, protein ligand interaction, mostly used for drug discoveries division. It's very fast and it has a very nice benchmark using, testing in many projects in academic and industrial. The second program that we use in the company is PyDoc. Has tested in several projects and has several publications, mainly using for protein docking and protein simulation. We have new line in the company in artificial intelligence. At the moment, we have just working with 2D and 3D. 2D is based on the small molecules, and 3D is working based on the protein and receptor. In each division of the company, for example, in drug discovery, we use several applications, but with the help of the powerful IT department, we customize every techniques based on the client's needs. So if someone wants to, some clients or company wants to do some project, we tailor and customize each of these techniques. The techniques that we use in drug discovery division are like induced with docking, pocket exploration, which used for protein surface to obtain different mode of the binding from the drug to the receptor, reaspirin, Pele, techniques work with GPCR protein or AGA Pele, which look for the effect of the water inside the pocket when the drug bind to the receptor or target. In the enzyme engineering division, we have enzyme profiling in silico direct evolution, which used for testing the thousands of mutations in each enzyme to see the effect of this mutation. We have techniques to run for a thermostability of enzyme, and we have fluorescein. This fluorescein, for example, is the first time techniques used in biotech company that is able to have a second binding site in the same enzyme. The third division is nucleic acid. We use Pele DNA, protein interaction, and PyDoc application. Here we can predict the RNA druggability, simulating RNA and DNA with a small molecule. And thank you. And it will be really good to have internship people who are interested in working with pharma company. They have diverse background, like they want to develop program, but also they have a background in biochemistry, life science, and it's really interesting to work such a company that you can see. The one part is for programming developing, and another part is life science and working with biotech, enzyme, and big pharma. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ali. Really interesting applications in the life sciences sector. Then last but not least, Silexica with Teresa and Kai.
All right, thanks. Teresa will be sharing. All right, perfect. Thanks. So my name is Kai Neumann. I'm with Silexica. I'm leading the engineering department here. And I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how you as an intern would fit in. Teresa, can you skip to the next slide? Right, so what we know of, I'm sure this is nothing new to you, intelligent world that we're facing in the future needs huge computing efficiency and computing resources. That may be, in automotive with all these autonomous driving and the driver assistance system, might be in wireless, 5G, 6G, avionics, and in general, like data processing, data and machine learning. So there's a huge need for computing efficiency. And if we go to the next slide, we can look at how, what challenge actually will be there. Or the challenge that we are seeing at Silexica is you have these different heterogeneous compute platforms, so which are on the one hand very efficient. If you look on the left side here, it's an ASIC. It's a very specific hardware compute device which can do one thing and one thing only, but that very efficiently. And it's extremely hard to program. I mean, the design cycles are just ridiculously high to design such a thing. And then on the other end, on the right-hand side, on the lower right, you have a CPU, a classical CPU in a modern PC, which is very easy to program. It's very flexible in terms of what it can do, but it's far less efficient than an ASIC. So, and what we are seeing is with this huge increase or demand in compute power and compute resources, you need to have more and more compute resources, but you also have to increase the efficiency, because otherwise you cannot cope with all that resource need that you have. So ultimately what you would like to do is you want to use ASICs or FPGAs to leverage, to basically handle that compute need. But there's a problem in programmability, because ASICs and FPGAs are super hard to program. I mean, you have a very generic program on the CPU program or GPU or whatever, parallelized program, but it's very hard to get that to an FPGA. So ultimately our vision is, hey, what if there's a way to actually move FPGAs on to the right on the programmability scale? So let's see on the next slide how that could work. So the problem space is defined as this. So you have a standard C++ project and program, and you put it through a software compiler, and it goes to a standard CPU. So as I said, it's easy to program, but it's comparably slow on performance. What I mean by slow is that, it's slow if you compare it to FPGAs or ASICs. How do you program those? That's in the lower bar. You have a hardware language which is completely different from the paradigm than C or C++. And then you run it through a hardware compiler and put it on an FPGA. It's really hard to design, but the performance is great. Now in the next set, we now see, okay, so this is what we are aiming to do. So SLX, our product suite, accelerates this journey. So it allows our customers to take any C++ application and go directly and very quickly to an FPGA or ASIC implementation. And that's you basically combine the benefits of both worlds. So it's easy to program and it's great in terms of performance. That's our vision. That's what we have been building so far, and that's what we're always looking for. Capable people, interested and motivated people to support us with. Teresa can give you more details on that now.
Yeah, so to give you a brief overview of Silexica in general, so we were founded in 2014 as a spin-off from one of the largest technical universities in Germany, that's RWTH Aachen University. And we now have 60 people from over 22 nationalities working together. The majority here in our headquarters in Cologne, where also the entire engineering team is, and that would also be the location of the internships. But we also have sales offices in the US and in Japan, and local engineers, for example, in Asia or in Europe, collaborating together. So as an intern in our engineering department, you get fully integrated into a Scrum team. So you get real tasks, you get involved in code reviews, and you obviously get help and mentorship from professional software and hardware experts. But of course, you also get the opportunity to help others and help Silexica. You are not working on just side tasks or so, but your code actually goes into production. To apply or what we expect from our interns, we want someone with a can-do attitude, someone that really gets to work hands-on on really exciting tasks, and someone that is willing to learn more and to grow throughout their internship and contribute really to our product. We have a couple of really exciting internship opportunities. So we are currently looking for a compiler development intern, someone with a software development background working on FPGAs, but also DevOps and front-end development interns. And if you're someone that has already gained some work experience, we also always offer direct entry, for example, as a compiler engineer or product developer, but also in QA and DevOps. All of our jobs are on the HiPEAC portal and also on our website. And feel free to ask me if you have any questions later. For now, we are very happy to get your interest and for you to shape the future of Silexica with us.
And allow me just one more comment there. I think we had 2 successful internships coming from HiPEAC. We were very fond of that. And actually, we have 1 full-time employee that came via HiPEAC. So we realized that HiPEAC is a really good source of talent. So we would love to see more people applying via this portal. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. As well, a lot of opportunities. Silexica, of course, in a higher level compared to the other companies that we invited, with offices in 3 locations and so on. But really interesting opportunities. I think we have a question here from Karim for Calliope. How realistic is to stay in the company for a permanent job after an internship?
Okay, I think it's very realistic in the sense that we are always looking for talent. We're a small company, but we are growing rapidly at this point. And we already had 3 HiPEAC internships, and we have also other kinds of internships. We have lots of research projects. We didn't do any HiPEAC internships last year because of the pandemic, because we didn't want to do any remote internships. We value presence in the company, and we think that one great part of the experience is with the human contact and being part of a group, especially in a company which is small such as ours. The human connection and the ability to brainstorm and having someone present here and being able to interact with us is, I think, the most important part of the experience. And the thing that an intern should value more, to understand not only the speed and how everything is different in the industry than the academia, but also how one should interact with his co-workers and the boss, which is like, okay, we are a team practically. There is no difference between the boss and the employees here in a small company. It's always like that. So yes, to answer in short, it is very realistic. We want to see your talent, your creativity, and your ability to integrate in our environment.
Perfect, Calliope. Thank you for those words. We got an open question here from a PhD student that is focused on statistical tools to assess probabilistic worst-case execution time, estimations on critical embedded systems. So he's asking that, he has a background in heavily mathematical and statistics, so it doesn't really match some of the descriptions for all of the speakers. How would a profile like his fit in our companies?
Should I say something?
Of course, Jenny.
So it's not, well, for us, it's not only about what you already can do. It's at least as important for us to know about what you can learn, how far you can go. That would be my short question. That would be my short answer.
Thank you.
Thanks, and let me add to that. So I would also second that. And I want to add to that. It's also very important to understand what you have been working with, like which tools have you been working with, just to get a glimpse and an understanding of what have you been dealing with so far from a, let's say, mechanical or operational point of view, right? Like I think it was, who was it in the beginning? I think Lahiro, probably in the second session, said, it's about this, Git and GitHub, these tools and how you work with them. That's actually, I want to just emphasize that again. It's actually really important for us to understand, like, which tools have you been using, because even if you can't imagine, maybe as a student or a PhD student, but it's actually super important for us, because if you have been using those tools and if you're used to all those workflows and how things evolve in actual production environments, it makes it easier to integrate yourself into that. And if that hurdle is taken already and you're interested in what we do and your academic background helps with that, then also it doesn't matter for us like what you did before, but rather where do you want to go with it and what are your abilities to pivot to that. Thanks.
Thank you, Kai. Anton, did you have a comment as well?
Yeah, so Sergio, there's since you're mathematical, you will understand this analogy well. So imagine this is the direction of your PhD, right? And you can have a direct sort of your internship going roughly in the same way, a very small angle between the two. So if you take the dot product, the projection of the internship on your PhD is going to be great. It's probably going to accelerate it. So some students prefer to take this approach, something to do an internship that will help them to progress their PhD research. But I have also seen successfully people trying a different thing. So this is the direction of your PhD. And you take a completely orthogonal approach, do something entirely different. The projection is zero. Your PhD supervisor might not be happy about that, but this allows you to evolve later after your PhD. You said, well, I've also done this. So it's totally up to you, but so think about this.
Yeah, great, Anton. Thanks a lot for the mathematical example. I think we could all understand it. So yeah, is there any more question? I don't think so. But I would like to focus here as well on the answer by Kai, as well as to give just a final message to all of the students that are there and that are interested in applying for the HiPEAC internships. It's really important that you, as Kai said, focus on the tools and just make sure to share that knowledge with the companies, either on Git, as the example that Lahiro said, or in your CV. It is important, really important, that you show that, okay, so these are my skills, this is my background, and I want to be here, or this is where I want to be. And I think with all of that information, there should absolutely be no problem in applying for any internship. And yeah, I think that's it from my side. I'm just going to end here. The last slide.
Anton, just one more thing. I mean, maybe the question is more of an operational problem. Like, if you can't find a job opening that fits your past experience, but you nevertheless think you would be a valuable addition to the company, I mean, there's always the possibility to just do an unsolicited application, right? Or just say, okay, I'm this person, I can do this and that, and my interest in that, I want to work for you, explain why and what you can bring to the table, and then do an unsolicited application, even though there's no job opening specific to what you have done so far, right? Just in case the question was in that sense. Okay, thanks.
Yes, definitely. So there was a question here that was already answered by Teresa. Okay, if there is anything else, would you like to as well final comment?
With a final comment about that, because
Mhm.
I can understand there are just 5 companies here. I guess there are a lot of more internships available at this point as an application. And there is always this question, do I fit the profile? Am I the right person for the job? We always, all of us, we ask for a cover letter or a motivation letter when we accept an application for an internship. And the idea that I want to see from a student that's applying is, how do you think you could fit in the profile? What do you think, what in your creativity that you can do? Because no one expects a student to be ready to work in the industry. We all know that this is why internships exist, but what we are looking for is the open-mindedness and the actually intelligence and the preparation of a person to adapt and learn quickly or not so quickly. Not everyone has the same speed, but this is what everyone is looking for. So have the courage to present yourself with self-confidence. That's very important.
Thank you, Kalliope. Yes, great message. So does anyone have a final comments as well?
I have just a small comment.
Mhm.
I really felt the value of these internships. And for example, the second internship was not really too much in the direction of my research, but I got to know some tools. And that helped me think about my research problem. And also, it kind of opens up different career paths. So I just wanted to mention that to the student with the last question regarding the mathematical statistical background. So I want to say that he should not be discouraged from applying, because the internships really helped me in ways that I could never imagine before doing them. So I think it's very I would say for students, again, do not miss the opportunity to apply for internships, because it's valuable than I thought previously. So yeah, that's a comment on my side. Not to miss the opportunity.
Thank you, Lairo. I think we can. Anton, do you have any comments?
Yeah, well, I love the topic of internships because my whole career got bootstrapped through an internship. So while I was a student in Moscow, I came to Cambridge for an internship 18 years ago, and it was a transformation actually for me to get to know about computer architecture. So at that point, I was very interested in compilers, but sort of high level, not really applied to nitty-gritty, really low-level systems. And I worked with some legends actually in the field. So a year later, I started a PhD. And during that, I was looking for internships constantly, and I did one with a compiler company in Amsterdam, which is now defunct. I did one with a accelerator company in Bristol, which is now defunct. But it's sort of get to know if you work with a small company. But I learned really a lot. And for example, I also learned about the sort of management style from my supervisors, and how they approach the topic of hiring, how they work, how they collaborate. And this is such a transferable skill. So now actually I'm able to work with clients, so engage them. And this is sort of stemming from my experience working with very diverse companies. So you learn to speak the language of industry. You learn to, you might not even realize that not everything is about research. It's not all about papers. And it doesn't make it any less interesting, because what you can be working on, you can see yourself being applied to millions of computer systems. Later after my internships, I went to work at ARM on the first OpenCL implementation. And last year I learned that now that approaching 10 billion Mali GPUs in the world. So this is the world number one GPU, not NVIDIA, right? ARM Mali. And you have a piece of that, a piece of your heart, a piece of your soul. And it all starts with a sort of small, germ that you can get, sort of this bug that you can get through an internship. So if you work with someone, you can really catch that. Sorry, in the time of the pandemic, bugs and viruses are bad things, but if you catch that can be very, very important for your career. So yeah, wishing you all the best.
Oh, we got another question here from Claudio. Oh no, he's giving his, yeah. He advises any student to apply as well. Good, thank you, Claudio, for your contribution. So yeah, I think we can finish off on that, Anton. Great comments. I wish we could turn this into a discussion, maybe in a future session or in a CASE summer school where we can get some more students. But yeah, I want to thank all of the speakers, all of the companies, Lahiro as well. Thank you for giving us and sharing your experience. To everyone out there, thanks a lot. And yeah, make sure to visit the HiPEAC Jobs Portal and stay tuned for our opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
you
you
very much.
Antonio, for organizing
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Let's take it to
Bye.
HiPEAC.